One of my favorite songs that I've ever written was a fall/Halloween tune called Bethany the Bat. I actually wrote the song during a 60-minute songwriting challenge. You can check out the original video up here. The lyrics made my girlfriend cry, so I knew it was a good one. But while the skeleton of the song was solid, the arranging, recording, and mixing left a lot to be desired. So in this video, 2 years later, I want to do justice to my original idea with my leveled up production skills and knowledge. How much better can you get at writing, recording, producing, mixing, and mastering in just 2 years with relatively regular practice? Well, stick around to find out. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, hi, my name is Alex. I'm a musician and composer, and I'm glad you're here. If you like what you see or hear, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm on a mission to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That would be crazy. And honestly, a dream come true. I've been trying to be a YouTuber for the better part of 15 years. Okay, shilling over, let's get into it. All right, here we are. We are gonna first take a look at the original that was released 2 years ago.
Because she had a broken wing from an accident last spring.
That's good.
So Bethany sat alone, sunken like a stone, and the last gust of wind had blown. But being with her family meant everything.
Nice. Okay. Overall, not too bad. There's a lot of stuff I do actually like about the song. I think the lyrics are really cute. I really don't like how his guitars sound. They're really just sort of harsh and metallic sounding. And what I think I might end up doing is making a fuller arrangement. I think it was guitar, a single snare drum, which I recorded and didn't know how to mix, like a old piano sound. So definitely going into it, I want to fill out the arrangement more. I think the verses are a little bit slow. I want to try to make the verses different, add new things on top, like a more driving rhythm. I'm thinking something like Mumford & Sons is what I want to sort of go for. I'm going to watch the other video to see if I can get the chords. Hi, welcome to another video.
Tree to tree,
From tree to tree would fly Bethany. Yeah, I was assuming it would be the same 5 chords I play for all my songs. So right now I'm just trying to remember the song. So I've got my notepad here and I'm writing down the chords. It was an October night. The moon was right in the sky. So 4, 1, 5, and then the spring. She hadn't taken to the sky. Well, we'll figure it out. Next thing we're gonna do, we're actually gonna pull up some references. I'm not gonna play the references for you because I don't want to get demonetized. But from start to finish, I want to have a certain sound I'm going for, okay? So what I'm actually doing, I'm using a reference plugin here. And normally this is something you would use to like check your mixes to make sure the EQ and balance, everything is good like that. But I actually have all of my reference tracks loaded in, and I'm gonna be using these sonically to help fill out my arrangement. And we're not really mixing too much right now, but instead of putting them on their own separate tracks, they're all just here on the stereo out. So it's a little cleaner that way. First thing we want to do is figure out the tempo we want to go at. We've got a metronome here. From tree to tree. No way. It's exactly 120. Shut up. First thing I'm going to do is we're going to make a rough scratch track of everything. So I'm going to record the guitar. I'll use the same capoing I used last time, and I'm going to record just a rough vocal. Neither of these will be in the actual thing, but just to get a layout of how the song is going to go.
from tree to tree.
So we've got our rough outline done. What I'm gonna do is sort of listen through it. I'm also gonna add a drum track. We want something, one, to keep us in time, right? I can use this as a click track. Maybe we'll just make our own track really quick. From tree to tree. Something like that.
Tree to tree.
I'm gonna record drums later, but this will work. So we've got our loose beginning of what the song is gonna be. Obviously the drums are atrocious, the vocals are not great, the guitars I had to flex in time. But from this, we can start building out the actual arrangement, which I think I wanna start with the guitars right now. Okay, so we're just gonna do some tracking.
October night, The moon was right.
Alright, that was terrible.
Search for something unknown. They were. The moon was right in the sky.
Okay, let's see these two guitars together. Not bad. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Bethany the Bat.
Alright, let's give it a listen. Still going strong.
From an accident last spring.
Okay, so we're not done arranging, but this gives us a start. We can build our arrangement around, and then we can also see if we want to record some different parts in different sections. And this is still just the low guitar. It's taking me like 30 minutes to do this. I still need to record the high guitars, the bass, all this stuff. So tracking takes a while, but we want it to be good. So we should be able to just drag this over. Yeah. Now we'll take the verse over. And I think what I'm going to do with this verse is I'm going to keep the guitars playing the same thing, and I might add, I'll add some other instruments to sort of strengthen out the arrangement.
What they had in mind.
Okay, we're checking out these guitars.
The pain, how it would sting.
I'm not hearing any huge timing issues. I wish that last chord would have been a little softer, but we can compress that out. What I'm gonna do really quick is just some cleaning up action. Just a little, just in case there's any pops or anything. And then I will listen back and trim them because I don't want any of like my chair squeaking or anything like that. But that's not super interesting, so I'm not gonna go through all that. Then I'm also gonna label everything, so that'll happen now. This is Editing Alex, and I kind of sped through this, but it's super important to label everything. It saves a ton of time, and it's a definite pro move. So we got our low guitars. I still need to record the high guitar part, but I think I'm gonna take a little break from that and record some bass. We've got the bass guitar here. We're gonna add a new instrument. It's gonna be a bass guitar, input 1.
From tree to tree, would fly Bethany, Bethany the Bat. October night, the moon was right in the sky as all.
Okay, so I just finished tracking all the bass, and I did a little bit of cleaning up. I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time. I'm gonna come in here and add my fades. Nothing crazy, just enough to make a difference. I think I'm gonna jump into the high guitars next. So that'll be the next thing, and then hopefully we'll be done with the main bulk. I still wanna add banjo, mandolin for the verses to sort of pick up, but I think the main core, aside from like drums, is already recorded, which is great. Okay, so I just did a listen through against my reference tracks, and I feel like we're on a really good track. The bass is feeling filled out, the lowers, the low mids. Now we're just gonna bring some more brightness and clarity, and that's gonna come from higher guitar parts, some percussion instruments, and the voice when we re-record it. So let's get into it. Here we've got the higher guitar capoed up, and this is a different guitar. This is my Yamaha. This is actually the one that was used on the original recording, so I'm paying homage to 2 years ago with this. My biggest issue is I do like the part I wrote, the little... But the frequencies are just kind of annoying. So I think what I'm going to do is record the same part, but I'm going to try to be really surgical with my EQ as we get into the editing stage and just try some things out. So first, we headphone. Second, we tune. Okay, let's go.
It was an October night. The moon was right in the sky.
So what I'm doing right now is just filling out an idea that came to me during recording. I find those are usually the most fun choices. I've got some solo line ideas that just sort of came to me. I like those a lot.
She didn't fly out with the rest, 'cause she had a broken.
Okay, we can emphasize these pre-choruses a little bit more.
And she hadn't taken to the sky since then.
This is just some more guitar recording. There is so much guitar in the song, but I think it's worth it. It sounds really good. Things are sounding good. I think I'm gonna leave the soloing for a little while. So next, we're gonna add some percussion. Specifically, we're gonna start with the drum set. We're gonna load up some Superior Drummer. And I'm super pumped. I've actually never used this before. Just got it. We've got the kit back here, which I will be recording from. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Who had never left the nest? She did when they flew through the sky. Oh, my wing is hurt, and if I go down, no one will know.
I unplugged my main microphone because I'm recording the banjo now. And we're going into this. We're using an SM57 that is connected to a cloud lifter sort of thing. I don't really know what we're gonna play yet, but we're gonna figure it out. And I've got my...
Except Bethany, who had.
That sounds nice.
They were all excited to leave.
Get a better recording of that though.
Who had never all except Bethany.
And then we will double that.
Had never left the nest.
Had a broken wing from an accident last spring.
Taken to the sky since then. Would fly Bethany.
Just a little baby bit of banjo. I think that's all I'm gonna have. That's the line. Now I just need to play it good. We just got our mandolin tracked. I think it adds so much. I'm so glad I was able to put those instruments in. Now what we need to figure out is this guitar riff stuff. So the balance is going to be having a line that's fun and moving, because nothing's doubling it. I might do an effect where it pans to the side, but it needs to compete with the vocal line. It needs to compete with the mandolin, doing more melodic things. Welcome back, everybody. It's day 2. I've gotten a haircut since we last spoke. I actually just got out of the shower, so you probably can't even tell. Doesn't matter. I haven't listened to this song at all since we last saw each other. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to give it a little listen. Yesterday, we did pretty much everything except the vocals. We have our scratch vocal here. We have our low guitars, bass, high guitars. We did some high solo line things. We got drums, banjo, mandolin, and a piano. So let's check this thing out.
From tree to tree would fly Bethany, Bethany the Bat. Overnight, the moon was right.
Let's go. All right. So we're sounding so good. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. I'm super stoked with how it sounds. There's definitely some volume management we need to take care of. Today is vocal day. Y'all, we're doing vocals. I've got my water here. We're going to use the SM7B. I think this microphone fits my voice the best. That's what I tracked the scratch vocals on. But now we're just going to do it better. I'm also thinking we're gonna add a bunch of different layers, make it sound really big and huge. So let's get into it. So we have a new track, input 2, microphone. First thing we're gonna do is test some audio levels. From tree to tree. I wish I would have warmed up before this. From tree to tree. Okay. -10. I'm wondering, I'm gonna go a little bit higher, point down at my mouth. That way, it's sort of bypassing my nose a little bit, so I'm not getting that nasally sound. Let's see what that does. Tree to tree, from tree to tree, from tree to tree, would fly Bethany, Bethany the Bat. It was an October night. The moon was right in the sky. So that's all the lead vocals. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in a track stack so we don't really need to like worry about it. I will go through and edit the best takes of everything, but for now, I think I just wanna record all the vocals and get that done. From tree to tree would fly Bethany. From tree to tree would fly Bethany. What I want to do next is not really a very exciting part, so I'm probably going to speed through it, but I'm going to run all the vocals through Melodyne and just pitch correct them a little bit. This I don't really consider part of the mixing process. This is still very much editing to me. I want to sit in to do my static mix with the vocals sounding as pristine as they can. Still not using any EQ or compressors or anything, but I think tuning things is the next step.
Bethany, with a broken wing, the pain how it would sting, but being with her family meant everything.
And then we have the lead vocal. What I did was comped together all these takes and then I just hid them. And then I went through and trimmed out all the breathing for the main vocal so we can hear that. It was an October night. The moon was right in the sky. Welcome back. It's day 3 today, everybody, and I'm very excited. We are starting on the actual mixing of the song. So I've done a few things since we last met up in Superior Drummer. I went and moved all of my drum tracks to individual tracks. That way I have a little bit more control as we get into the mixing. I finished all of the vocals, background vocals, but I tried to balance the vocal out before it hits any compressors or anything like that. I did export a quick, like the first static mix, and the drums were a little hot, so I went back and turned some things up and down. So we have 2 static mixes done, but now we are getting ready. So I think what I'm going to start with is, I know I don't like the sound of my voice. Not to say that I don't like my voice at all. I just think there's a lot of nasal stuff that's not sitting right. But for right now, I'm actually going to mute both the vocal and the background vocals, and I'm going to try to get a stellar instrument mix first. So we're going to listen through it and we're going to see what it needs. Big things, I'm loving the dynamics. I think it's really open, it feels really good. I mainly just want to make some separation, and I'm mixing in mono right now. I think the first thing I'm going to do is some top-down mixing, which basically means we're going to be applying things to the output instead of individually first. But what I want to do, because we're not dealing with the vocals yet, is I'm actually going to send all this stuff over to an instrument bus. So let's go, our next available bus is, let's actually do 19 because we'll do reverb and delay later. And we'll say this is the instruments bus. And the first thing we're gonna do is a little bit of EQ. I wanna go to the loudest section, which is right over here. Roll off some of the stuff we're not gonna hear. Maybe a little bit right there. So very, very light, and then we're gonna add a little tiny bit of compression. This is not supposed to change the character of the sound at all. So this is just adding just a tiny little bit of glue. Here's before. And after. So now that I've got something, we can go in and sort of start surgically making some moves. And I think the first thing we're gonna do is EQ just about everything because it needs it. First, we'll go to the drums, we'll go to the kick. And what I actually like to do is mix on top, like I mix congruently. So I've got my kick over here and my bass over here, and we're gonna see some frequency discrepancies. Yeah, so they're pretty much right on top of each other. Actually liking that. Let's consult the book. What I've done is I've sort of shaped out some of this low end on the bass, the super low end, which would be directly competing with the kick. So now, instead of them sort of being on top of each other, they're much more separated. I also added some definition to the beater sound of the kick and a little snappy presence on the bass, which I think will cut through and sounds really good to me. This is my process for all of the instruments. I'm going to carve out space, take out frequencies where they're not needed, and make sure that everything fits within the song. Right now we are just carving out space for everything. Some EQs on the drums. We've gone from I'm pretty happy with that. I like that. Again, this is just more carving out space using EQ. If you'd like a more in-depth tutorial on my process for doing this, let me know in the comments. I tried to cut around a lot of this because I was mixing for about 10 hours and it can get really slow really fast. So it just sounds so full. It sounds nice and open. I can hear all the instruments, which is really, really nice. And some of them are more felt, like these low guitars. I don't necessarily hear them sticking out in the mix, but I notice when they're gone. That sounds really good. That took about 30 minutes. That's great. Now, actually, I'm gonna take a little break. And then we're gonna come back and I think we're going to compress the instruments. I'm trying this new thing. I've never done this before. I'm gonna try to make the track completely finished and then add the vocals. And I may do the background vocals before that, but I wanna see how good I can get these instruments sounding first. So that's what we're gonna do. We're back. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a listen to our reference tracks. It's been a little while. Not bad. We're doing pretty good. I think the compression is going to help quite a bit. So we're going to start with the drums and we're actually going to do some bus compression first. Start with the virtual mix rack. Basically what we're trying to do is pull out some saturation, even out the levels even a little bit more. Okay, so I do like to start with this. Compression to me is very similar to EQ. I use plugins that are going to affect the tone quality, which I like a lot. It makes it sound more analog, but it's all about finding balance with volume at this point. What I'm trying to make sure is that I'm not fooling myself with this makeup gain that louder is better, right? I also tend to use some analog style EQs for more tone color. That's got a really driving sound to me. I like that a lot. I'm also going to throw a tape machine on here. I'm not paid by Slate Digital, but I do have, I pay every month for their stuff. So I try to use it as much as I can. So I'll do it without the mix for a second for context. I just think we are emphasizing everything that's good and minimizing everything that's not so good. And in the mix, yeah, I can really hear that coming through, which is great. We're also going to add some distortion. This is a trick I like to do sometimes. I'm going to close my eyes and then click on and off the program a bunch until I don't remember which is which, and then I'm going to decide which one is better to see if I actually like this or not. No, I don't like it. I don't know. Maybe I'll use a different one then, because that's not doing what I want it to be doing. So here's what we started with, and granted, these are amazing samples, so they don't sound bad by any means. I made them a lot louder. But 12, not like 2 dBs louder. So maybe we'll do like a... Just adds so much energy to the mix, which is really, really nice. Okay, let's check out these guitars. My process for the guitars in pretty much every instrument is very similar to drums. I'm using some specific rack items that I tend to use all the time to get sounds that I'm looking for. But again, it's all just balance and tone and preference. I've been at this for about 2.5 hours. I've taken little breaks in between. The instruments are just about mixed. I'm gonna switch to my AirPods to see how well it's translating. So right now I'm noticing most of the tracks are saying I need a 1K boost and some massive reduction, 50 and below. So I'm gonna try to add in these vocals and see if that might fix the 1K issue.
With a broken wing, the pain how it would sting, but being with her family meant everything. With a broken wing, the pain how it would sting, but
All right, I just had lunch. I'm gonna listen to my reference tracks again, and then I'm gonna start doing the stereo out mix bus mixing, which is gonna be great, because I'm really happy with how the song sounds. I think it's in a really good spot.
left the nest. She didn't fly out with a broken wing from an accident last spring.
Let's do another tape machine on it. Why not?
October night, the moon was right in the sky as I out with the rest, because she had a broken wing, the pain how it would sing.
Okay.
From tree to tree would fly Bethany with a broken wing, the pain how it would sting. From tree to tree would fly Bethany off to the edge of town. The first tree was near, she swallowed her fear, and what she did next made every bat begin to cheer.
And it was not your fault but mine, and it was your heart on the line. Ugh. I think that sounds pretty good. What I'm going to do is export it out, and then I'm going to listen to it in the car. That's usually my final test for a lot of things. I'll export it down, listen to my phone. I tried taking a lot more breaks today, and I think that helped a lot, actually. Thinking about how far this has come from 2 years ago is crazy. I found myself less lost than 2 years ago. You know, like there are definitely some things that I'm still doing wrong, some things that I'm not hearing, but overall I have such a clearer mindset of what to do, which is just awesome. So see you tomorrow probably. This was such a fun project to do because I was able to look back on something I've made and not immediately cringe over everything that was wrong. I can hear where I was in my journey, and yeah, while I can hear things that need improvements, I can also look back unbiasedly and find some areas that were genuinely pretty strong. I think my voice was mixed decently well in the original, and the lyrics are still really cute.
And now I can go in and do what I originally wanted to do years ago because I have a lot more experience not only using my tools, but I'm able to craft a stronger artistic vision of what I want as the end product. And with that being said, here is the official mastered Bethany the Bat version 2 compared with the original.
From tree to tree, we'll fly Bethany, Bethany the Bat. It was an October night, the moon was right in the sky, as all the bats flew from their homes on a search for something unknown. They were all excited to leave, all except Bethany, who had never left the nest. She didn't fly out with the rest, because she had a broken wing from an accident last spring, and she hadn't taken to the sky since then.
Wow, that's a night and day difference. It's amazing how much progress you can make at anything as long as you are consistently putting in the effort to get better. But what do you think? Which version of the song do you like better? If you want to listen to the full version of Bethany the Bat 2.0, you can check out this video on my channel, and hopefully it's available on all streaming platforms relatively soon to the release of this video. Subscribe to this channel for more videos about writing music, music theory, music production, I guess music in general. And please like this video so more artists on their own journeys can see this and relate, and we can build a community and support each other. That would just be great. Until next time, make music, tell stories. Bye.
Because she had a broken wing.